Hey guys, welcome back to the CNSL Season 7. Right now we're in the round of 8 and it is match 1. It's tied up 1-1, Ruin and Scan each taking a map, which means we basically have a best of 3 left. The first person to win 2 of the next 3 maps will go ahead and advance to that amazing round of 4. And it is time to get this going. All right, let's jump into it. Our map is going to be Apocalypse, and up here in the top center, it is Scan. His opponent in the bottom right, none other than Ruin. All right. You know, so far, the 2 games were somewhat one-sided. You know, obviously, the very first game from Ruin was a proxy to Gateway on Troy, and as far as I can tell, it is not something that is very beatable. And then for like Scan's game that he won on Citadel, I thought it was a very good, and it was kind of fast-paced, so I didn't get to talk about it too much, but he did go for the 3 factory push that I had mentioned that it entered the meta just briefly about a year and a half ago. But yeah, it's kind of exciting to see that pop up again, because I was literally thinking exactly about that build recently and how that might be a useful strategy right now, right? Because it's like, the thing is, guys, the way that the metagame evolves, right? So for a while there, about a year ago to now, maybe 6 months, 8 months ago, 2 factory pressure became very, very popular after expansion. And now everyone kind of stomps on that, right? But a 3 factory push, like because the 2 factory pushes went away, and you know Protoss is still kind of on top of stopping 2 factory pushes, adding in that 3rd factory, make it a little bit more vulture heavy. I thought that was a really smart, really cool play against these fast 3rd base builds that we've been seeing. You're rallying up a lot of vultures. You're delaying some of your other things, like your missile turrets and your +1. But yeah, very, very cool stuff to see from Scan. I'm excited to see if he does it again. Going into Apocalypse here, Ruin's not doing anything crazy, right? We do see sometimes Zot pressure here. We do see Nexus first here really, really very often. And you can see, by the way, look at how dialed in his gas mining is even. Doesn't put 3 on gas right away. It's 1 mine, 2nd, 3rd as it comes out. Really kind of cool to see, like, really highly optimized build that you're looking at here. No probe scout or anything, right? So this will probably just be a very, very fast expansion. Now, Scan coming across. He's going to be able to scout first, and in fact, 2nd SCV. So this I find very interesting. And I do wonder if he has some sort of idea behind that 2nd SCV scout. Basically, if you're playing a 3-player map, you have 50% chance to scout your opponent first, and it's really strong. If you scout them 2nd, you literally have like so little idea of what's going on. They sometimes they'll hide a zealot. You know, there's like a lot of things that can go wrong there. So I think that's why he sent out the 2nd scan. I mean, the 2nd scan. Hello, the 2nd scout. So really kind of an interesting idea there. By the way, very fast Nexus. Speed is on the way. Single Dragoon. And yeah, looking at what Scan has going on, it's just 2 depots. So yeah, he's just going to go for that command center. Going to have plenty of units here to hold off that initial Dragoon. And still trying to scout a little bit here as well. He's going to try to jot in there before that Dragoon is going to be able to stop him. Of course, we can't see any other tech as of yet, and he won't find any either. But just seeing even a 2nd Dragoon pop out, as well as the range upgrade on the way, is useful intel here for Scan. Now here comes that 1st Dragoon. It'll probably just poke, but I don't imagine it's going to really deal any damage. You don't really want to fight against this much. 3 Marines alone, well microed, are going to beat a Dragoon. So when a Vulture's in there, it just becomes a rout. He is going to run that away. And notice how Scan right here doesn't have to make a bunker or anything, right? Like that's... I really like to see that. Like, I feel like he's reading this position really well. It's the same type of push that we saw on Citadel, right? It is very popular. If your opponent goes... Basically, it's like if your opponent goes range and Dragoon, and then a 2nd Dragoon, then a Nexus, like that type of build, you have to make a bunker. because they would already be over here. Dragoon range would have finished about 7 seconds ago. So you would have to have a bunker. You'd have to be really careful about it. Now, when your opponent goes Nexus into range, then you can actually kind of skip the bunker. It's tight, but you can do it, and we see him doing that here. Throws down a starport, a very hidden starport over to the side, so one you're probably not going to see, and he's not going to have to move either. He can probably produce off that for the entirety of the game. Vulture going around with the mines, right? So he's got his tank and Marines up front, and he's going to try to lay some mines behind here. So he lays one down. It's good to get one down no matter what. Ooh. This is pretty damn good, actually. He lays one in the front. We might see Scan actually push because of this. These are about as good a mines as you can get. And if he can push these into that mine, that would be gigantic. Now, Ruin seems to know that there's likely a mine there at this point, so he actually runs in the other direction. He's going to be able to micro back, and Scan isn't going to be able to, like, kill or anything here. And in fact, this gets really screwed up. One of the mines that we're laying did force the tank to dance a bit, so he couldn't keep that up and continue to get hits. But that's about all you're probably going to be able to do. But here's the thing, right? We know that he's going for a quick dropship. It looks like... Okay, did Scan actually get supply block there for a moment? I'm not entirely sure, but when you're going for a dropship, if you can keep, like, do you guys remember from the Citadel game where I'm like, okay, he doesn't really see a tank, and he's run back into the main base to block drops, right? This game, Scan kept the tank up at the front and was trying to poke the goons repeatedly, and that's because he wants you to be like, hey, he has a tank, right? Like, oh... Okay, it's like a more regular ground-based game. But instead, this time, where he was showing off the tank rather than retreating with it more quickly, he's going for that drop, right? So we don't see Dragoons yet. I don't think we're going to see him run Dragoons back, but he might. Like, he can't really read that this is dropship because this is not a super optimal dropship. He's got his observer up here. Everything looks kind of normal with two tanks there. And so Scan, I think, has set himself up for a lot of damage. I have to say, like, what I'm seeing from Scan here, this is like super high IQ, really, really smart play. Now, here are the Dragoons. This is dangerous. Scan's gonna unload. He's got to get those vultures on top of the probes ASAP because he has to micro this like crazy. He has to make sure this bunker doesn't go down. If the bunker goes down before siege is done, he's dead. Or very, very likely dead. And it looks like he does pick this up and keeps the bunker alive at the same time. All right, all right. Equal as far as workers go. I'm not actually sure how many kills he got there. The reason why I keep going back here is because, again, if this were to break, the game would end really, really quickly. Or, well, not 100% of the time. Sometimes you're going to be able to kind of block with SCVs a little bit, and then siege finishes, and you lay a mine or something. But it's like that's kind of a very important part that we're looking at. Worker count within one. Very big for Scan. Drops off a couple vultures here. Oh, man. Finds a perfect location. Starts killing probes here at the natural. Really, really well done from Scan. Dude, that's a lot of damage dealt. That is a lot of damage dealt. Now, Ruin's building 3 probes at a time, so the game is absolutely not over. This is good damage, though. The fact that Scan is now up 3 workers is pretty substantial. But again, Ruin is going to be able to get his Reavers out. He's going to be able to do some harassment, some containment and everything. And he is going to refill that probe count. It's not like he dropped down into the 20s or something, right? He dropped down mid-40s. If Scan hadn't done any of this harassment, I mean, he would already be up at like 66 or so, and he would have stopped. So this does slow things down a lot. And... yeah, I guess we'll see how that ends up playing out. So the vultures right now trying to run by. Gonna kill off some probes here in the natural. Dude, this harassment from Scan this game. Seriously. Scan in such a good spot. I gotta go back and check actually what he's up to. All right, throws a Reaver into the main base here, trying to get some harassment. Unfortunately, not enough repairing there. So he is able to fly forward, but only if you don't have anything in there to tank shots, the Reaver actually will die reasonably quickly, right? So as he loses that out, oh my God. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. He dropped the Reaver because he saw the vultures. Scan may have left these there to try to do that. Like, that is a possibility. I'm not going to give him that. I might actually ask him later, but, like, I'm not going to just give him that he left those there to try to lure a drop out to kill the vultures. But he might have. That would be a really brilliant tactic. Either way, gets rid of that Reaver. And now it looks like Scan getting ready to make another command center on location. Getting a Wraith as well. Great usage of that starport. He's up at 5 factory. This should be a defensive 5 factory into his 3rd base. Dude, like, literally, you can't have made better decisions. In all 3 games. In all 3 games for Scan, right? Because honestly, I don't know what more you can do on Troy than what Scan did. But, like, everything I'm looking at from Scan in these games is, like, peak StarCraft decision-making for Terran versus Protoss. Peak decision-making. I can't think of anything better. It's like exactly everything he needs to do and wants to do, he's doing. So he's going to start the science facility. You know, not only is he getting the science facility, he's definitely going to want to start more factories as well. I think for this map in particular, you need to, well, 7 facts is always the case. Once you go 3 base, you definitely need 7 factories. But I could see going 9 factories on this map, because you kind of got to be ready to push, because it's really hard to hold a 4th and almost impossible to hold a 5th. Now, Reaver dropped suicides in here, and it is going to get some kills. Ooh, some very good volleys. Gets 10 kills on that Reaver, which is really, really legit. But Scan, you know, 52 SCVs. He's going to be all right. He can refill that. But good damage there from Ruin. SCVs being transferred by Scan. Let's take a look at Ruin's base, see what he's up to. Psystorm on the way. Has his +1 coming up. Just kind of making more shuttles and everything. 4th Nexus being made. He does have a pretty substantial probe count here. 72. That's about as high as you ever want to get nowadays. Sometimes you accidentally overmake, you know, in the speed of the game, and it doesn't just automatically count for you like some RTS games, right? So, like, you look at it and you're like, okay, I think we're about right. And sometimes you'll find out later, like, wait, why did I lose some of these battles? Then you look and say, oh, gosh, I was like 10 supply over what I wanted to be on workers. That does happen. But now, that being said, like, there are players that like to play up in the low 70s. Nothing really beyond that. Only thing that goes beyond that would be Terran versus Terran. Now, looking at Scan's base. Okay, so he's adding quite a few factories. Let's see how many he goes to. So right now he's going to 8. 8's pretty darn good. 3 add-ons after his +2/+1 gets started, which is exactly what you want, especially with the 3 gas. And yeah, not sure if he's going to add more than the 8 gates. His Sim City, by the way, is a little bit off. As you can see, this is blocking travel this way. And this is super tight in here, right? So units that are, like, tanks popping from here have to walk around like that. It's kind of tough. It's not the best Sim City. And part of that, of course, we see like a little bit of mines going down. Nothing too substantial. Part of that is this early Sim City that he had. Anyways, a Wraith kind of waiting out here, spotting some areas where drops can try to come in as well with that eBay. Looking at Ruin's side, double cannon, single cannon, double cannon. Okay, so yeah, the fringe bases on doubles and the inside ones on singles. Looks pretty good. Dropship here, but nothing in it. Ruin clearing out this area of the map. Not surprised to see. Generally, how this map goes is Protoss will get up to somewhere near max and then basically expand everywhere and force Terran to do something. Right? Those are the games that, like, anything could happen in. And, you know, games where Protoss is ahead, they just never let you up on this high ground, basically. They just keep smashing into those ramps as you come up. Now, Ruin going forward, he should not really attack in here, I don't think. This is not that good an army. Kind of surprised. Like, he just gave up, like, 10, 12 zealots to kill, like, some mines and... What? Don't know what that was. That might have actually been, like, some sort of hotkey misplace or something. I don't know. Some misclick. but definitely not what you want to do right now. He like just his supply went to below his opponents instead of above, so kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, High Templar's coming out to get into those shuttles. He does have Kadarin Amulet on the way, 4th command center for Scan. And now we are on those 9 factories that I was mentioning before. I feel like that's a really good count for this map. Anytime you're on a map where you feel like, oh, I might have to really attack, and that would be a map where it's like really hard to take a 4th base, right? So like basically Apocalypse is one you can take a 4th. Absolutely, it's down here, but it's a little bit hard. So you want to make it so that if there's a counterattack potential, you can hit it. Another map like that would be Retro, right? There's definitely quite a few maps like that. Whereas some maps you look at like Vermeer or Polypoint, it's like, oh no, the 4th base is like pretty easy. Like you can go fewer factories and just expand and feel fine. Now double shuttle coming in, 2 High Templars and 6 Zealots in here. Throws down a Storm, throws down a 2nd Storm. Not the most kills. So only like 4 kills there. Yeah, for 2 shuttles. Not the best. Scan right now trying to float this command center. He's going to go ahead and run. Just a very small gateway army running over here. It does kind of deny this base for a moment, but this does not look or feel like a really great attack. Scan just kind of marching across the map. Dude, he's got 2-1. He has +3 on the way, building 3 tanks at a time, maxed out. Ruin doesn't have a lot right now. Dude, I gotta tell you, like, this is inspiring level play. And I'm not saying this because Scan's a friend. He's like, he is playing out of his mind. Like, this is better TVP play than I see from most pros. Like, the only, like, I just got done casting ASL. Just finished up the season, right? And I would say that Sharp and Rush were both completely on top of their game. This is at least on their level. Like, the decision-making is at their level or above, and the macro is, like, the same, right? Like, this is just beautiful, beautiful play from Scan. Truly. Look at this. What can Ruin even do? You know, Scan got like a little bit of an edge early on and just kind of followed it up well. And what happened was Ruin did some moves that weren't very good, like that double speed shuttle coming in, the Reaver kind of suiciding in was okay. That one was kind of okay, but definitely the one with the High Templars that we saw 2 shuttles over here wasn't good. That attack with the gateway units up here wasn't good. And now Scan takes down Ruin here in game number 3. On to game number 4. All right, so game number 4 here, going to be on Radion. We have in the bottom left, Ruin. In the top left, we have Scan. I tell ya, I wasn't really expecting this level of play. And like, obviously I have a great deal of respect for Scan. Like him a lot. He's a great Terran player for sure. But this is truly some of the better TVPs that I've seen, right? Like, you cannot even argue that this is better TVP than we saw for the most of ASL, right? And of course, there's other things going on in ASL, right? There's a certain level of mind games. There's a certain amount of pressure that exists. Yes, absolutely to these things. This is why, obviously, getting into ASL is worth more than winning a CNSL, I would say, right? Because literally that's like definitionally what this tournament is the players that just barely didn't make it in. But still, it's amazing to see, and I'm enjoying it. I'm here for it, man. Now, hopefully, Ruin can have a little comeback here and win Game 4, bring us to a nice Game 5. That would be excellent. I would very much appreciate that. I want to see as many games as possible. Radion, I think, is a pretty good map for this matchup. A lot of Terrans have said, and I think I mentioned this before as well, a lot of Terrans have said that they do not really like this map and find it to be really hard, like very Protoss favored in the matchup. And I find it like a little bit hard, but honestly, I kind of like it, Terran versus Protoss. You know, like, I don't know. I think the kind of basic layout's pretty decent. Yeah, the third base is a little bit further away. Yeah, it's a little bit open to, you know, to shuttles and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of dead air space in the at 12 and 6 and everything. But I kind of like it. I think it's a pretty good map, and I think that these two can play an excellent game here. Now, Scan here, good old boy Scan, is setting up for a fast command center, a gasless expand. And a Zealot gets started. Ooh. Will Scan go second depot? He will not. Now, here is the problem. The Zealot will walk directly north. So, well, I think he's actually going to be okay. Like, we'll see. Now, there's the second depot. We'll see if he starts a second Marine right away or not. Normally, what you'll do is you'll build one Marine, and then you go for the gas after the depot, and then you'll build your second Marine. So let's see. Yeah, there's the gas. And, oh, he's not missing a single beat on SCVs. And will he start a Marine? Now, look at how this Zealot is pathing. This Zealot is trying to go on a path where it's not going to get scouted. Since Ruin does not know what Scan is up to, he's trying to hide this so that his Dragoon can come out and come in at the same time, possibly, against like a 3 Marine expansion type build. So he's going to hold this here, which it would have been much better if it went straight up. This is sometimes the difference between scouting first and scouting last, right? So right now we have this micro battle. He literally has no idea what Scan's doing. When he gets there, he's going to have a big frown on his face because, oh man, that's actually Robo first? Holy crap. What I was saying is he will have a big frown on his face because Scan's build is simply better, right? It just matches up really well against this. You're gonna look at this and say, oh crap, this sucks. Now, that being said, this is a new build. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Okay, so he popped up, took damage, realizes the amount of damage he took means he ran up to see the command center. And seeing that that's all done and everything, you're going to know that, okay, this is a gases expand. I am behind. He needs to block this SCV. Oh, my God. Oh, very important. Now, 2 things. First off, you didn't see a Nexus. So 100% of the time here, you're going eBay now. There it is. And you're going to go siege mode. 100% of the time, because you just don't know what you're up against. It's one base, though. Okay? Now, looking at what is going on here for Ruin, this is a new build. I was unaware of this build until like a week ago. So basically, 2.5 weeks ago, I believe it was. I can't remember the exact date, but let's call it about 2.5 weeks ago from when you're watching this video. Well, if you're watching it on the day it came out, which most people do, but yeah, it's okay if you didn't. Maybe you're watching it 2 years from now and I'm talking about this anyways. Basically, Snow showed this, where, you know, there's been a lot of builds where you go like proxy robo. Well, this isn't exactly the build that he showed, actually, now that I'm really explaining it deeply. So, proxy robo Reaver is very powerful against gasless expand, okay? What Snow showed was that you can go robo in your main base against a gas steal and get ahead like that. So actually, let me backtrack and say that it's not exactly what Snow showed 2.5 weeks ago, but it made me think of that because the fact that he just went blindly into the robo to get very fast Reaver, this is kind of a new idea, and I feel like Snow showed us the idea, okay? Snow showed us many things with Reavers, so maybe I'm over giving it to him, but like this made me think of him immediately. Now this is a very, very, very fast Reaver. What do we have defensive wise? Well, actually, it's pretty damn good. Mines are on the way. He already has siege, that means, I think, or no, he doesn't. Oh my God, this is funny. So, kind of surprising that, like, I wasn't really paying attention to that part, but the fact that he goes mines. Okay, the mines tell us that Scan just wants to attack very badly. Now, a couple Dragoons run up and start hitting that bunker. Ooh, good Reaver drop location. Very hard to get those SCVs out of there. Lot of damage on this Reaver. Oh, my bad. He did have siege. Oh, my God. I'm like, I guess I'm way off here, but I was surprised he didn't siege here, you know? But yeah, maybe he just felt like the defense was going to be a little bit better. Different people actually defend Reavers in different ways. Some people say, okay, I'm willing to take this much damage. Some people say, okay, I'm going to micro to try to stop damage, right? When you siege, generally it's like you're like, okay, I'm taking a certain amount, and I know what that basically is, unless I'm playing against Snow. And yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna try to get my foot out of my mouth here and take a look at these builds. So Right now, speed is on the way. He already has mines. He's laid a bunch of mines around his base really nicely. 4 siege tanks. A 5th siege tank on the way. A turret going up. And I think we're going to actually see Scan go across the map and attack. So, just in general right now, and look, he's adding some more factories as well. In general right now, there's like... it's just very good to put pressure on your opponent, I guess, is what I'm trying to find like an intelligent way to say this, that a lot of the information you get in this matchup at the moment comes via attacking. Ooh, good mind drag. Excuse me, doesn't do quite as well as he was hoping. All right, does get some SCV kills. So really reasonable on that Reaver. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. But right now, same SCV count as probe count. This base, the natural expansion was quicker for Scan. He's getting some more turrets. He's got like a really good standing army. He has been slowed down. I think he actually was going to attack because you wouldn't, if you were going to wait for 4 factories, you would never get speed, then 2 factories. You get the 2 factories, then speed. Okay? Because speed takes 13 seconds more than a factory, but it costs the same amount of gas. So it literally wouldn't make sense. So he was planning to attack, but the Reaver came in, so he just stayed. And he just kind of missed that timing because he was defending, and now he's added more factories. So, you know, he's just pushing that attack timing forward a little bit. A couple of Ultras will slip in here. And getting a few probe kills for sure. Yeah, pretty decent. 3rd base gets started. Reaver's just kind of sitting here to block. 8 kills on them, between them right now. And yeah, plenty of missile turrets. It looks like going up to 6 factories now for Scan. Wow. It's quite a number. Not really placed super well. Hard to get them all in one screen. But yeah, Scan is going to be attacking here pretty shortly. He's getting Goliath range right now. He doesn't have Goliaths yet. A lot of times you want to wait for those Goliaths, you know, to try to make sure that the shuttle can't just completely harass you the whole time. Like if you're really good with these Reavers, you can get some pretty good pickoffs on the way. He does pull back. Wait. Do we have a second shuttle coming up? Second. Okay, observe. There it is. Okay. That would be the only reason you would pull back to this position. Right? Normally what you would do is just kind of slow this all down with Reavers, but when you pull it back like that, that's to join up with a second shuttle. So he has 2 shuttles. Notice he puts the one with Zealots in the front. That's going to lead, and he's going to drop them off on the way. So what he wants is he wants this one tanking for this one, but he also wants it far enough ahead that the Zealots are going to remove the mines before the Reavers drop. So very well executed. Big Scarab hits, actually. 10 and 8 kills now. Oh, my God. Tons of damage being dealt. Okay, so far, this is really, really good. Yeah, and I think picking off units now is probably best because he has sacrificed a ton of his supply. Has these Zealots off to the side. Not really doing very much, unfortunately. Scan gonna go ahead, send back his SCVs. Ruin probes on all 3 bases. So Scan now down to 36 SCVs. Game not looking quite so good anymore. He is down 11 workers, which means their army supply is the same. But don't forget, okay, so as we go higher in supply, army supply means more for Terran, unless you have Psystorm or carriers, right? So if they're even in supply right now, like you kind of look at technical units. No Psystorm, no carriers. And he actually just lost 2 speed shuttles and 2 Reavers, right? So the army that his opponent has is almost completely gateway units. So as long as you have enough vultures with your siege tanks and you're at similar supplies, you're basically good. He's pushing across really, really quickly at the moment. Sieging up, no legs. The legs are not even halfway done yet. Almost a pure Dragoon army. This is like a perfect push timing for Scan. You know, he's way down in workers, so he has to make this kind of work. 2 Reavers finally do come up to help and get a decent volley. Yeah, unfortunately for Ruin, though, he is going to end up losing just about everything here. I think it's very unlikely that he's able to keep this base going or even this series going at this point. All right, Scan continuing to leapfrog those siege tanks. Kills his own pylon to try to run away and slow this down a little bit. It's not going to end up working, though. Scan relentless with this push. Almost nothing really left for Ruin now. Look at this. Just speeds all. It's jumping out of the gateways. All right, the shuttle comes in, trying to micro. Couple of Goliaths with range, going to make it a little bit hard. Does pick that off, and GG is called. And that means that Scan is going to pick up this first series with a 3-1 victory. Scan moves on to the round of 4, looking for a second CNSL victory. And Ruin falls. A great tournament from Ruin, without doubt. Still, I think the best game in the tournament is his. But some amazing play here tonight from Scan. So congratulations to him. Guys, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.